Hello everyone, and welcome to NGS Division D West. My name is Tokeybee. You guys probably do not know me, but I am an up-and-coming caster, and I've been part of the NGS community in the past. HOTS is still one of my favorite games to play. I'm a huge fan of MOBAs, and so I decided, you know what? Let's become a caster for the NGS. And today I picked up a game, US Army eSports versus the Murky Chasers. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about these two teams. I know that US Army eSports and Murky Chasers are 5th and 6th respectively in their division, but there is a massive gap in terms of points. We see that US Army eSports is way ahead in terms of points, but let's find out together how this all happened. So first we're going to go over towards the map view. So the bans, I'm not sure in which order they did end up happening, but first and foremost, we have US Army eSports. They banned Cursed Hollow. And then Murky Chasers replied with a ban on Garden of Terror. Now US Army eSports, for their second ban, decided to choose Alterac Pass, and Brax's Holdout was the second ban for the Murky Chasers. Now, as for what they ended up picking, we'll find out together as we go into game number 1. And we'll be starting this right now, and we'll figure out the maps together. Don't go anywhere.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
So, starting in game number 1, we notice that they did go for Towers of Doom, which is very exciting to me. Towers of Doom is a map that I really enjoyed myself. It's a map that is very hard to snowball on, just because the games always need a certain amount of time before they end. They will always need the 40 damage done to each of their towers, and while it is possible to eventually take down all three of those towers for each side, it is very difficult to do, and very unlikely that someone is actually able to do it. So now both teams, as usual, starting with all 5 towards mid side. Though we are noticing that the US Army eSports is moving up a little bit. Dehaka's already starting to cheat up towards the top lane. And finally, the poke starts coming out. White Buffalo tries to pull them in. And we got this old Jin. But anyway, while we're waiting for any part of the game to really begin, maybe there will be a little bit of poke down here. No, just going to be a little bit of blind for the D mount. We can talk about the drafts. So, the main things I want to point out is that the US Army eSports did get Dehaka. Dehaka is very fast at soaking, very fast at clearing the waves. And one-on-one, yes, Sonya will win, but as long as Sonya isn't able to kill Sanger, he'll be completely fine. Oh, as we do have... Nope, no fight at the bottom. We'll just watch over in the offlane for just a little bit as we talk about this matchup. As long as Sanger's able to clear it out, eventually he will get to a point where he's just too tanky for the Sonya to kill before he clears. And he will be able to soak up a lot of experience for his team. As we see, both sides are taking their sapper camps and grouping back down to the bottom. Other thing I want to point out is the tank differential. So we do have Varian as the tank for US Army eSports. And while Varian is a very good tank and is very good at blowing up individual players, he is not able to do that until level 4. So I would like to see the Murky Chasers trying to force a little bit of an advantage, as we do see them fighting. Tychus tries to deal some damage, but just a little bit of poke going back and forth. Frack getting a little poke out with his orbs. Big hit, as we do see Vendetta cheating down. I don't know if they've called him down, but looks like US Army eSports themselves are going to group over towards mid, start shoving that out. Kind of helps Sanger out a little bit because Sonya does win this matchup early. His main role for now is just not to die. But overall, even levels, both sides just hitting level 4 talent. As we are seeing that the Li Ming did go to the power hungry orb as they're shoving in through the mid lane for the Murky Chasers. A little bit of a downtime as we do see White Buffalo kind of an engaged, start blinding. They're going all in. Al Pacino gets the taunt. Murloc barely getting away with only 150 health points left to his name afterwards. Very close call as we do see the altar start activating. So typically what you'll see is both sides will trade the top left and the top right altar. But the US Army eSports seems to be going all in on getting this top left one. Perhaps I think that Sonya is still able to bully out the Dahaka. So looks like it will be a 2-1 trade. Unless Frack is able to poke him out. Or Sanger is actually able to come in and pull out Vendetta. They are jumping on top of Vendetta. I don't think they'll be able to kill him. But they'll definitely be able to zone him away from the altar. As we can see on the minimap, they are coming in. They're able to get both of the altars to get their damage. So 2-1 in favor of US Army eSports. But the fight never ends up breaking out and both sides just walk away. I was a little bit skeptical at first with the US Army eSports maneuver, but it ended up being in their favor. White Buff gonna walk into White Buffalo. No real damage to follow up, just being a minor nuisance, making sure they don't stay mounted. As we see that the siege camps are respawning, both sappers are back up. They get the taunt onto Luke Murloc, but not much they can do with it. They are getting a good amount of harass onto Al Pacino. Doesn't seem like they will be able to get any kind of kill pressure onto him. White Buffalo jumping on a frack. Li Ming already used her teleport, but she's able to get away no problem. As we see a fight going on at the top side over the sapper camp, and very close. He's in stasis, but Vendetta might be able to kill him as soon as he arrives. But he's able to heal up just in time. Vendetta will get the sapper camp. But as we see the fight coming in, US Frack not able to get any damage, but he is able to get first blood going over to US Army eSports. As we see in the bot side, now that there's a number disadvantage over at the top side, that means bot side Murky Chasers, they need to press their advantage, and they're able to as they do kill the Varian. The kill going over to Integ. So both sides 1-1, but the main point I want to bring out here is that all 3 sapper camps have been taken by Murky Chasers. And that is absolutely integral as we see the wall blowing up. And we still have one more sapper pushing in as well. Won't be able to get this final tower as the altars are spawning. Both sides are starting to come up. We see Integ taking his. And Frack is trying to take it, but it looks like Vendetta and Leolisk aren't going to let them just take it for free. Both sides a little bit behind on the push, but Frack should be able to poke them off. Isn't able to give Leolisk, but we do see the grenade coming out of Surefire. One of the benefits of having a Tychus on your team, though it is high cooldown, so Leolisk will be able to cap. Let's see, White Buffalo is a little bit low, so maybe they'll be able to get a kill trade back. And yeah, all 5 jump right on top. But the score remains 32-28 in favor of Murky Chasers. We're on level 8 now. Level 9 hit by both teams at exactly the same time. So we should be hitting our ultimate abilities very shortly. Just a little bit of push in the bot lane. But as we do see a lot of soak being missed in the mid lane right now. Pink's coming out. Looks like they want to fight. US Army eSports is kind of getting ready. A little bit of a sneak attack as the sapper camp spawns. White Buffalo coming in the front. Integ. Oh, but they do go on to White Buffalo, who is able to bring out the Unstoppable, so the taunt does not go through. They're trying to fight back and forth. Al Pacino taking a lot of damage. He's completely on his own and just gets absolutely demolished by Leolisk Zul'jin. Huge kill coming out for him. And both sides now hit level 10, so ultimates. We have Shield Wall coming out from the Varian, Flailing Swipe. Getting that extra little bit of distance, because if the Sonya has gone Leap, which she has, she will be able to get onto them really easily. So it would be very helpful to have someone just be able to peel for their team. Frack's already going to be very hard to get on top of. That's really the only ability they have that should be able to catch him out. As we do see the mech coming out from Surefire. They're fighting for the tower, but there's no more creeps left. Leola's taking a lot of damage here. Gets the heal, but they get the taunt onto Integ, and Integ gets run down, and that's the Rhaegar killed. No healer left for the side of Murky Chasers. They're still chasing. Maybe they'll be able to get White Buffalo. White Buffalo not close enough, and he does get blown up as well by Frack. They wanted to ban fracking, and that's why. Murky Chasers, though, during all that, is able to get the altars. It was a 1-for-1 trade overall, but U.S. Army eSports is going to do what they can in order to steal back this camp. Oh, Vendetta comes in with a leap, trying to spin around, spin to win, not good enough. It's still 3v4. I think they were trying to delay long enough so that the Saber camp would not be stolen, as we do see the charge come in for 2 of them, but the 3rd one will get blown up before the charge can come through. And in the meanwhile, we do see they are starting to grab the their own Saber camp as well. And a little bit of an XP lead is starting to form. We do see about a half a level lead from the side of U.S. Army eSports, as we might see an engage coming in. White Buffalo. Nope, just a dismount. They're about to hit level 13, as they do manage to catch onto Jaina. Huge kill coming out for the side of U.S. Army eSports, and they're going to hit their 13 talents very soon, as we see a bit of a fight in the top side. I'll be honest, I don't really expect either of them to kill each other, but nothing's going on the bot lane. Let's watch the wet noodle fight, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, this sucks. Let's just stop. Mutual agreement to kind of stop wasting each other's time when they could be collecting soak. Though I would argue this does benefit U.S. Army eSports, as we see in the minimap. Oh, never mind. We're going to focus on the fight. White Buffalo does get taunted. Half HP, getting down, anti-heal, and Intake tries to get the ultimate out, the ancestral healing. Sorry, I'm still new at this casting thing, so I will be checking names as often as I can, I'll be honest. I want to get more into the habit of being able to truly use the ability names. As Surefire uses his minigun, I believe that's called Overkill, to clear the wave. A lot of poke coming back and forth. We do have the water elemental. As we do see a taunt, I actually completely missed that. Got the tail end of that as Vendetta gets killed. Leap is still available, but looks like U.S. Army eSports should be able to just channel this. No other kill is going to come through. As Integ uses his ancestral healing to make sure they're topped up. I'll be honest, I don't think that's a great usage of it. I think because of that, they're not going to really have it for the fight that's about to come through. There should have been time to reset and come back. But we'll see. Hindsight's 20/20, and we only do results-based analysis on this channel. So if they end up winning the fight, then we can consider that a true success. A lot's fighting coming around forth. Al Pacino coming in from behind. The Varian, who's he going to choose? He does get the shield wall on him, and he's actually going to get absolutely blown up. Murky Chasers able to get the kill. I think he took a little bit too long to decide on his target for the taunt, and he's able to get punished for it, as we do see the grab going over onto Vendetta. Vendetta's not going to really be any threat. Frack is nearby, going to try and take the middle tower. Nope, isn't able to reach it. Let's see the Murky Chasers. They get their sappers, and these sappers are coming back up, but so is Varian. And this may well be the next location of our fight. Let's see White Buffalo trying to stand at the front. Integ puts down his pillar. Immediately gets cancels it, puts it towards Siege Camp, and they're able to get it before the Varian is able to get back into the fight. So we see 3 altars activating now. A little bit of fighting going back in the top lane. And in fact, looks like Vendetta was almost killed. I saw they were fighting. As we do see the shield bash coming out through White Buffalo, and a Zul'jin kill. Leolis gets that kill. I am the best observer at seeing the last quarter second of the kill. As we do see 2 sappers coming in and explode, 3 now. So that's going to be 4-2 in terms of towers. And the altars are going to be that much more potent. So any even trades would benefit the Murky Chasers. But these trades aren't even. We see Sanger trying to cap it. Vendetta's going to try to cancel. Isn't able to get there in time. As Leolisk is able to get a free altar for himself. Cancels at last second. Might have been a misclick. And Vendetta's going to be capping it on his side. Sanger's going to try come in. Is able to cancel it for now. So we'll see if both sides start moving up. But it does seem like Murky Chasers might just be letting it go. Vendetta is kind of on his own. White Buffalo comes in, tries to get the pull in. Not enough. Gets a little bit of damage onto Frack. As the root lands onto Sanger. Still quite tanky. Both sides now have all 5 members, but Joanna does get blown up. Leolisk, half HP. Ancestor Healer coming through. Taunt dropped onto Vendetta. Vendetta spin to win away. And they're not able to get the damage off. But in that moment, we did see that Murky Chasers was able to cap the altar. But the boss is starting to get taken by the side of US Army Esports, trying to find a way to get their points back. Getting a little bit of explosion damage. Going in left and right. And they are going to be able to get those 4 damage points towards Murky Chaser. As Vendetta gets caught, blown up. Another kill goes over. 9-4 in kills for the US Army. But as we can see, they are 3 points behind. They're going to try and seemingly trade for this top tower. As we do see the tunnel come in. We have the mech coming out. The Commander Odin. And they should be able to make pretty short work of this. And it doesn't seem like the Murky Chasers are even interested in contesting it. They are able, in the meanwhile, to get the Sapper Camp. That's going to slowly start pushing toward the spot side. And it looks like they want both of the Sapper Camps. That would be really big for them. If they're able to walk those in, that's 6 extra damage points. And in terms of their towers, they're still even 4-4. So while they did lose their top side, I don't think they really care too much. There's only one Sapper Camp on that side. Next altar is spawning bot side. This is definitely where you want the pressure right now. Sanger is here. A lot of poke coming out from the orbs from Frack. Sanger is caught trying to keep the Sappers from coming in. But the lead gets down onto 3 people. They are able to get the heals. The swipe able to cancel the fight. But they weren't able to kill all of the Sappers yet. We still have 2 alive. And 2 of them managed to go in. So only 2 damage done. But in the meanwhile, Sanger comes in from the back, utilizes the Dahaka Bush maneuver, and is able to get the altar blown up. So that's 11-13 now. Very close game. Anyone's game at this point. We do see they are starting to group towards mid. US Army Esports about to hit 20. They do get the taunt onto Vendetta. Vendetta tries to spin a win, but 4-on-1, I do not fancy those chances for Vendetta. And this is only going to speed up their heroic talents coming in soon. They are trying to press down this mid tower while Sanger does take those top lane sappers. White Buffalo coming in from behind. They have Commander Odin already enabled. Able to get the pull. While they do have the water elemental. Massive shield throw. Gets a huge stun onto everyone. Leola's just free hitting onto Al Pacino. Is getting hit by Surefire. But Surefire isn't able to bring him down. He's able to heal up on his own, as Zul'jin does. And they are able to keep the damage away from their mid lane tower. But we do see these Sappers slowly walking in. No one's here to deal with them. Vendetta just respawned, but not respawn in time. And that's 3 extra damage going over towards the tower. And just like that, US Army Esports get their first lead of the game. 11-10. It's anyone's fight now. See the big taunt coming over, and that's an instantly blown up Jaina. Not much they can do about that. And White Buffalo also caught completely on his own. Integ is able to use the ancestral healing, but he had the healing debuffed, so really doesn't get a lot of value out of that. White Buffalo still at half HP. They're trying to come in as much as possible. As we see the leap coming down onto Frack, shield toss as well, and they're able to blow up Frack. We see Al Pacino is getting spinned on by Vendetta. Doesn't seem too long for this world. Leola's whirling axes are not able to land. But luckily for them, there's only 1 altar this time. But this is going to be a big one to get. This is going to be 4 more points going back towards the side of the Murky Chasers. 10-7 now. And both siege camps are up in the bot side. So they are able to get the Sapper Camp. Now, the question is, will they be able to push this in? US Army Esports already have 2 getting ready to defend. But White Buffalo, Leolisk, they're walking up really far forward. as Vendetta, we can see on our minimap, is finishing up the other sapper camp. Now, the sappers are walking in surefire, trying to keep it away. Unfortunately, it doesn't get the angle correct, and all three are going in with a ton of damage going over towards the side of US Army eSports. Slowly pushing down the bot lane as we see a little bit of harass. We do see the elemental coming out. Oh, what's the proper name? Yeah, water elemental. I was right. I should never doubt myself. The water elemental coming out from the Jaina. From Luke Murloc. Unfortunately, wasn't enough. We do see the sappers coming in. They are able to kill one, and they're able to kill all three. So the first set, we do have a shield bash. 4-man pull in into the lead. A lot of damage coming in from Vendetta, but unfortunately aren't able to get the kills. Swipe coming out from Pro Basket to keep them away, as they do have the pull from onto Luke Murloc. Very low HP. Stasis perfectly timed. That orb was going to be a kill shot, and the Ancestral Healing makes sure that no follow-up will be able to make a difference. We do have both teams coming over to the altars for the top side. And the way things are situated, US Army Esports need to get both. We have 2 altars and the boss. Any one of these 3 objectives will win the game for the Murky Chasers. They're choosing to fight on the side of their altar. Sanger is picking up the altar for their side. Water Buffalo just walking right in. Looks like they want to start this fight. Leolis is able to get some damage. They get the taunt onto Integ. Integ able to walk away. The orb misses from Frack. Vendetta tries as hard as possible. Just needs a little bit more damage on Al Pacino, but he is protected. And in the meanwhile, we do see Sanger in the middle of the entire team. Integ very low. 2-person stun. Lead jumping onto the back as we do see the Stukov go down. No healer, no way to win. Al Pacino is next onto the chopping block. And in the meanwhile, the game was ended with Lake Murloc taking down the final altar. Yeah, so now we see game 1 does go over to the US Arm, or to the Murky Chasers. So give me one moment. Towers of Doom, won by Murky Chasers. Still getting used to all these new tools that I have at my disposal. And I have to give huge credit to the NGS team for being able to get all this set up. I will say, having casted multiple different esports, this has definitely been my best entry point. It'll definitely take me some time to get used to these tools, but I'm very glad we have them. And so, right before we get into game number 2, we're going to take a short little ad break, and then we'll be right back. And in the meanwhile, why don't you try the NGS Patreon and help support this wonderful league? Hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to game 2, as we are getting right in. We have, as we can see, US Army eSports still stayed on to blue side, as we are inside of the Dragon Shire. Honestly, I've never really taken a close look at this model, and that scar is a little bit badass. I don't know if that's supposed to be just a crack in the rock, but I'm going to assume it's a scar for the dragon. As both sides once again going over towards the mid lane. And actually, no, US Army eSports trying to come in from the south. Grouping up. And now they're going to spot each other. Pacino tosses a White Buffalo. White Buffalo is rooted and unstoppable. Barely able to dash out away. And does get healed enough. But Vendetta is taking a lot of damage. But both sides able to survive. They're going to tap onto their wells. And they will be fine. But very, very close level 1. But with that, they are able to get first move onto the sides of US Army eSports. As we do have Sanger versus Vendetta once again at the top side. Vendetta on Sonya. But what is different is we have Sanger on Thrall. And Thrall is able to duel much, much better than Dahaka is into a Sonya. Gets the root and in fact, almost gets the kill. Down to 90 HP. I was seeing the bot side, both teams just kind of soaking back and forth, shoving in the waves. Nothing extreme happening. Though we do have a pretty large movement over to the top side. And it looks like US Army eSports maybe wanted to see if they could grab a pick, but they weren't able to get there in time. Sanger is going to be able to take down their first cannon tower, as Vendetta's running in, spinning, and is able to clear just before they get it. The siege camp taken over by the side of Murky Chasers, as the US Army eSports Pro Basket trying to solo these, and as we know, Rhaegar will be able to. Just takes him a little bit longer than if his team was with him. The shrines are now up. We have a fight going topside for the top shrine. Sanger versus Vendetta. Bot's shrine has already been taken. Frack is on his way on the Hanzo. Gets a little bit of poke and doesn't manage to land the hook. So that's going to be a kill from Frack onto Vendetta. Very close. Vendetta may have been able to trade it 1 for 1, but they would have still ended up losing their lives anyway. Do see the siege camp actually able to get a decent amount of pressure coming in from the bot side. Root not able to land onto Al Pacino. A little bit of healing coming out from the side of Pro Basket as they do clear away the siege camps. Both cannon towers very low on bot side, but at the same time, both cannon towers are still standing. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that you really care about, right? Al Pacino trying to contest this bottom shrine. Vendetta's still only soaking up in the mid lane, as we can see on our minimaps. And Al Pacino walks back in, is able to get the double knock-up from the garage. Integ getting low and getting killed, and White Buffalo follows shortly. Frack getting a little bit more damage onto Leolis. Al Pacino kind of low, but feeling very brave to walk in, knowing that he has Pro Basket healing them from behind. They do have both of the shrines available. As we see that Murky Chasers, they had Leolis cheat over to the mid lane to prevent them from taking that. But what they did with that pressure is instead they decided to take the Bruiser camp, which they're going to be able to get a very good push with. And now Sanger versus Vendetta, the one-on-one continues. They were able to get the shrine for their side. Vendetta does have the top side. A glowing red for his team. And Luke Murloc, once again, is able to kind of pressure down this side, despite the Bruiser camp hitting the walls. US Army eSports do have 2 in mid lane right now. So it looks like even though if they have it, they're not going to be able to really pressure anything in. Vendetta gets a lot of harass coming in from Sanger. With Pro Basket here, knows he cannot contest. While we do have Surefire collecting the waves and the XP down on the bot side. Just a little bit of last hitting. Not too much going on right now. So, which I personally find a little bit interesting because in the current moment, there is a short talent advantage coming out from the side of the US Army eSports. They have a level and a half lead, but they seem to be playing a little bit on the back foot here. Leolisk is able to take the walls, able to take the cannon towers. They are able to bring a fight right now, just as they're about to hit 7. But they haven't hit 7 yet, and Intake gets caught just before they're able to get the talents evened out. And this is very, very good for US Army Esports. They're going to be able to take this bottom shrine, surely. Surefire is running into it right now. And Vendetta, hopefully for their case, will be able to get the shrine coming in from the top side before they're able to grab it. Sanger not even going to try. Sees that they have the top side pushing in, as they are able to get the wall and the bottom cannon tower. But one cannon tower still stands strong. Meanwhile, Bruiser Camp is able to land on the top side. Sanger's just going to clear that out. Not too much going to happen here, as we do have a little bit of fighting going on between Leolisk and Surefire. Nothing's really going to end up coming of it. Red side, the Murky Chasers are going to be able to get the shrine back in their favor. Pro Basket's trying to finish off the Bruiser Camp. Gonna finish that off shortly. Al Pacino just kind of watching him to make sure he's safe. No one else is going to be invading. And that's going to be another Bruiser Camp coming in for the top side. Vendetta may get caught here. A little bit of a stun knock-up coming through. Taunt. Sanger gets the root and just blown up. Vendetta once again gets caught in the rotation. Surefire is starting to get a little bit more pressured here. The siege camps are getting a lot done. But we see the Murky Chasers. They know that the US Army Esports is coming in with their ultimate, so they're like, nah, we don't want that. We're just going to leave. Take the safe approach away from this fight. As we do see that they're able, the US Army Esports is able to get the pressure in order to get the Dragon Shrine. But will you be able to get it? Lake Murloc not going to let him just walk up and grab it. As we see Frack starting to support, gets knocked up by White Buffalo. Stun coming out as well. Root onto Leolisk, and we have the Dragon Arrow coming in, and he's just gone. That's going to be the kill, and they're going to be able to get the Dragon. Let me just double check that that was the right name, the ability. Dragon's Arrow was right. Okay. Like I always say, I should never down myself. And the Dragon Knight is getting a lot of damage as we see the rest of US Army Esports coming in through the bot side. Vendetta is clearing out top. The Bruiser Camp gets half of the fort. And they're getting a decent-sized push. The Dragon Knight does get pushed away a little bit in terms of the mid side. Is able to demount Luke Murloc, but no objectives getting taken down there. White Buffalo gets knocked back into his team. And the Gust to push them away. No fort's going to be taken. As we do see the Dragon Knight going topside already. They managed to break the wall in mid lane. That already is a very big achievement on its own. Typically, you don't get too much out of the first Dragon Knight. It gets very powerful once you get later into the game. But at this stage, even being able to get this much damage done onto a fort is already big enough. As we do see Vendetta gets knocked away, and looks like Sanger's just going to get a freebie here. As we do see a fight breaking out in mid. I'm sorry for missing that. A lot of damage onto Luke Murloc. As we do see that their tank was killed off. The Anubarak not able to get anything done. 12 to 11. Short reprieve as level 13 is hit by the US Army Esports. They're able to get that extra talent coming in right now. Both sides looking at each other. A lot of poke coming in. Between Frack and Surefire, the side of the US Army Esports is really able to poke out the enemy team. Frack starting to look at the Bruiser Camp. Both sides grouping towards it. Neither side starts. Al Pacino walks in. He does get the taunt onto White Buffalo. Lots of damage coming in. Leolisk is able to get so much, but we have the Ancestral Healing coming out from Pro Basket. As they're able to pressure it out. And for a short little while, they do have the 4v5. But White Buffalo isn't able to get the Light Bomb out in time as he does die. Vendetta also dying off onto the side. They are fighting a talent down, so even if it is 4v5, was not enough for the start of the fight. Luke Murloc, still not a lot of HP, gets pulled. Hammerang not able to get the kill. Frack gets a Dragon Arrow onto them, and 1 kill. Integ left alive, 2 kills. Coming over for the side of US Army Esports. 4-0. 14 to 11 is the current level lead for the side of the US Army Esports. And they are on a massive, massive push here. They got the top 4 during with the Dragon, and they got the bot 4 just now. And looks like they're going to be able to steal with the Siege Camp. They're just letting Frack finish it off. And he is able to finish it in time, as they're looking to get maybe a little bit of a bait, but no, looks like Al Pacino is just there to keep Surefire and Pro Basket safe as they finish off the Bruiser camp. And I'd also feel it's important to note that during all this, Sanger went back as soon as they won the fight and was able to soak up even more XP, thus growing the lead for the US Army Esports. Both shrines are up, and both shrines do get taken by the side of US Army Esports at the same time. We do have the Murky Chasers grabbing their Bruiser camp for the... I believe that goes to the top lane. Yep. And the shrine is available, but they do have enough people here, as Ranger kind of gets jumped on. Splits the earth, but Leap is used in order to grab Sanger. Water Elemental is hitting it. Dragon's Arrow comes in just in time to save Sanger. What an absolutely fantastic Dragon's Arrow. And then the Gust to make sure that Vendetta cannot get away. Jane is killed. Vendetta trying to run at Frack. Frack's just trying to run away, but Sanger is there to catch him out too. And another 2 for nothing. He's pinging his Dragon's Arrow. He knows, he saved him. Remember, when you save your teammates, you gotta let them know, hey, if it wasn't for me, you'd be dead. And the Dragon Knight picked up by the Hanzo. Excuse me for forgetting his name. As they go straight for the mid fort, this Dragon Knight gonna be a little bit stronger. 293 attack damage per hit. Dragon's Breath also becoming stronger as the game goes later. Is trying to keep himself so that he's only hit by one of the cannon towers. Goes for the kick, but unfortunately the wall is still up and Vendetta is behind the wall. But they are able to get this mid lane walled. The Dragon Knight is low, so I'd be very surprised if they're able to get anything else after that. And it doesn't seem like they're going to try. They've gotten their victory. They've gotten what they wanted. Mid lane wall gone, and they got the bot fort. And US Army Esports, once again, is able to kind of extend their lead. They're able to slowly push forward, able to get more and more out of their advantage. 13-0 in kills, in fact. And this game may, in fact, end up being a perfect game for the side of the US Army Esports. They collect their Bruiser camp. And all 5 seem to be grouping towards the mid lane once again. Dragon's not going to be up for a while. As they are walking towards the siege camp, spawning in 15 seconds. White Buffalo does spot them. They know they're there. I don't know if they know the exact number of the US Army Esports that are back there. Frack does get pinged. And they're just going to decide to shove out the mid lane. While we do see Vendetta is dealing with a Bruiser camp top. So this siege camp, as we do see the Dragon Arrow coming out, they're able to start the fight. We have Split Earth coming through. White Buffalo gets thrown back into his team. But unfortunately, he's the only one that dies. Is able to web Al Pacino, but it's not enough. Luke Murloc still going to get chased. They got the knockup. They got the Ancestral Healing trying to get there in time, but they're not able to. But they are able to kill the Rhaegar. And there goes the perfect game. So I'll be honest, this game is looking a little bit doomed for the side of Murky Chasers, but they can proudly say we did not get shut out. But this is hot. As we all know, any game can have a comeback. Leolis trying to stay back here. And overall seems to be okay. They're taking this bot keep. I don't think they really have enough damage. Frack doesn't have enough abilities to really be able to push down these keeps super fast. So they're pinging. The shrines are activating. We have Sanger coming in for the top shrine. Bottom shrine was just collected. And at the same time, we have Frack and Surefire grabbing the siege camps, getting a little bit of that extra pressure bot side. They will be able to prevent the dragon being taken right away, as they are able to collect themselves. They're level 16 talents, first of all. They have the Cocoon and Epicenter, etc., etc. They're ready for this fight, and this is really their last chance to fight on even ground for a long time. They get the double knockup from White Buffalo onto Sanger. Cocoon thrown out. Light Bomb thrown in, and they're actually able to get a lot of damage. Al Pacino does get killed, and it's 4v5, but the health bar advantage so far is for US Army Esports, so they're still able to cap this shrine. All of their waves are still able to push naturally, as we see. In the mid lane, we get a double knockup onto the two carries, too. White Buffalo able to get Frack. Frack May able to jump away just in time as the Ancestor healing is able to keep Surefire alive. They're getting a lot of damage. Everyone is so low on the side of Murky Chases, but they are able to stay away. Murloc able to get a lot of damage. Hammerang, as we do see the ultimate pop by the Vulcan, the Taz Dingo. But they're going to have to walk away. 5v4. And US Army Esports, they're not scared to fight. They are not up a talent. Well, they weren't at the moment of the fight. They are now with their Storm talent. As we see Bullseye picked up by the Hanzo, Deathwish picked up, and the Dragon Knight is also able to get picked up 4v5 with no tank. If that doesn't scream confidence by the US Army Esports, then nothing will. As the Dragon Knight is pushing in through the mid lane, as we see the rest of the US Army Esports coming in from the bot side. They're getting a little bit of harass, and Cocoon thrown onto the Hanzo. Knock up on a Pro Basket, and both of them get hit by the Lee, Pro Basket and Rack. But unfortunately, the stuns of the damage is just too high from the side of US Army Esports. Luke Murloc tries to run in, and the level 20 talents are really showcasing themselves here. Inte gets caught out. The Anduin is gone. And the Dragon Knight took the mid keep during all of that. Now they're able to get the bot keep. And surely they're going to use their level 20 advantage, their Dragon Knight, and their 5-on-3 advantage to just finish off this game. And we're going to a map number 3. Knocking away the Luke Murloc. It's only a matter of time. And there we go. Game victory. The US Army Esports. Yeah, and now going to take another short break as we get set up for game number 3. And we'll be right back after these messages. And we are back with game number 3. Winner takes all between the US Army eSports and the Murky Chasers. 1-1. Final map. I'll be completely honest. I forgot what this one's called. I know it's the one with the Punishers. I should know this, but I don't. Give me one moment. I am still figuring out how to do this the best. But yeah, game number 3. Infernal Shrines. That's what it is. US Army eSports once again takes the blue side for themselves. As we do see both sides starting to meet in the middle. White Buffalo onto the ETC, onto Al Pacino, is able to get a little bit of a knockback, just a little bit of harassment back and forth, nothing too extreme. So let's take a moment to talk about the differences in draft. We do see Sanger on the Garrosh once again, but this time they take the Zul'jin for themselves. Surefire is going to be the one piloting that. And Sanger picked a different hero all 3 games. This time going to be on the Blaze versus Vendetta's Leoric, who has been on the Sonya in the previous 2 matches. Once again, it's just going to be a soaking contest between the 2 of them. Just going to be fighting a little bit 1v1. We do have the knockup by Al Pacino. Isn't able to get the toss back for his team. Leolisk starting to get a little bit of damage on that Grey main, by the way. That's what they're going to be piloting today. And Luke Murloc is on the Tassadar. So they do have pretty long-range poke coming out from Luke Murloc. Piloting the Jaina in the last game, he was able to get a decent bit of poke, but Tassadar does have a lot more range, is going to be able to get a lot more out of it, as they do go for the siege camp in the mid lane. Going to be able to kill it pretty easily, both sides getting onto their siege camp. Murloc Chasers able to get it first, and US Army eSports should be able to get it soon after, as they are taking it. But because they were able to get there first, and they were able to take it quicker, we see that the Murky Chasers are also going to be fighting it on their bot side as well. Little bit more, and they get 2-1 siege camps. So a decent move. Not going to be a huge advantage yet, but every little bit adds up. They're able to get a little bit of damage on Al Pacino, but White Buffalo may have gone a little bit too far. He's able to get the heals. Luke Murloc getting hit down, but the totem thrown down by Intake is able to stop the fight. White Buffalo just going to tap and will be okay. Luke Murloc going to be checking out a little bit of the harass. Both sides do have their level 4 talents now. The Garrosh stun. What's it called, just so we can call it properly? The Groundbreaker. Not able to hit it quite yet. We do see Vendetta was trying to catch the mid lane, but we see that since the Shrine is up in the mid lane as well, Murky Chasers are bringing their core over to that side. And we in fact see Leolisk gotta start grabbing their Bruiser camp. And this Bruiser camp, if ignored, is able to deal a lot of damage. As once the dogs are spawned by the Shaman, they're going to keep spawning. They're going to be able to get it first. And US Army eSports haven't even started on theirs. They are starting to run over now, but it might be a little bit too late because the Shrine is now active. Are they going to grab it first? Yes, they're going to immediately start it. And US Army eSports isn't able to react with their own Bruiser camp. So that's just going to be a lot of wasted XP and a lot of pressure coming in from the side of Murky Chasers. But they do throw Vendetta into it, is able to go unstoppable on the Leoric. So we do see a 3-man stun coming over from Sanger. A lot of damage coming in. Frack gets poked out a little bit. White Buffalo doing what he can. Gets hit and is killed. First blood going over to Sanger for the side of the US Army eSports. There's still going to be a lot of time before either side is able to complete this objective. 25-18 right now for the side of the Murky Chasers. Level 7 talents are going to be faster for the US Army eSports now, though. And Al Pacino gets the knockup onto Intake, their healer. They're not going to be able to do anything without the Rhaegar. And Al Pacino is getting healed up by their Ender, and slow but surely, they're able to pressure them away. And they know they have to zone them out as Sanger comes in. Perfect timing for the unstoppable. Frack jumping in onto Leolisk. Might have been a little bit ambitious. As we do see the Sylvanas get picked out in the backline. Vendetta and White Buffalo, they're trying. It's 39 each, and who got it? U.S. Army Esports wins the 50-50. But who wins the fight is the real question. Murky Chasers is able to get one kill. Vendetta gets killed on the other side. Surefire gets pulled away by the Anduin, but White Buffalo is hitting on Sanger, but Sanger's full HP, no danger there. As the Punisher comes into the mid lane and starts hitting the towers. A lot of damage onto Luke Murloc. Lot of damage. Intake tries to heal him up a little bit, but wasn't really able to. As we do see a little bit of a trade coming out of the top side. Nothing extreme going on there. And the Arcane Punisher not able to finish off the wall. But ultimately, at the end of the day, U.S. Army Esports should be happy with that. They got the pressure through mid, which enables them to get the bot lane siege camp. They have been behind a little bit, as we can see on the... as they've been behind on the mercenaries. 400 XP down, as they just get the kill onto the ETC. I was not expecting there to be a play there, my bad. And they're able to shove in with this siege camp. They do have Luke Murloc able to deal a decent amount of damage, clear out the wave a little bit. But even so, they will get the wall quite easily. It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get anything more than that. Maybe some poke onto the fort. But I'd be very surprised if they're able to threaten it. Yep, Luke Murloc just throwing them away. Surefire gets a little bit more of his axes out as they go to collect their camp. Sanger already pretty much done with their siege camp, as he runs away to go collect his topside soak. I see the Murky Chasers are going to be grabbing their own siege camp, and doesn't seem like they will be contested to. There may have been a little bit of a chance, but they only just got their level 10 advantage now. So this is a good timer for the U.S. Army Esports to try and force a fight, but unfortunately nothing's really being seen here. They do have Frack, able to get a little bit of harass down. Tries to throw the mind control, but does not land. So ultimately, both no objectives are really up. There is going to be the wall taken topside. The final cannon tower, no HP at all. Just go near it, sneeze once, and you're good. Sanger, gonna pop the stim pack just for the faster clear. And looks like decided to just fight Vendetta. But Frack is also here to fight Vendetta. He's trying to run away, and the Leoric is very low. He is on the oil slick. Not enough damage. He does jump in, but he had the tap. And is actually able to put him into the dungeon. And Sanger, once again, getting a little bit too ambitious. Still 11 to 10 in terms of level line, in terms of XP. So not the biggest deal at the end of the day, but it is another free kill going over to the side of the Murky Chasers. And then we see, once again, bruiser camps are going to be traded off this time. And that's still the first bruiser camp that they've got in this game. It's purely because of their team fighting that they're able to have this lead right now over the side of the Murky Chasers. I actually think that their map movement has looked better. And right now is a very interesting example of map movement. The U.S. Army Esports just wants to make me eat my words as they go to take this the spot forward. Yes, the topside shrine is spawning, but shrines are notoriously long and difficult to finish off. They are able to get their level 12, about a half a level lead right now for the U.S. Army Esports, but the topside wall also goes down for the side of in favor of the side of the Murky Chasers, as they are able to get a little bit of a lead on getting this next shrine and getting this next Punisher for their side. They're coming in 5 strong, trying to shove in. White Buffalo knocks them away. They're already almost at 30. They're able to get the gravity wall coming in. Mind control lands onto Integ. Integ is taunted, and just like that, their healer is gone. They do have the bunker coming out from Sanger. Sanger is able to get a lot of pressure down and is just body blocking them, preventing them from getting anything done. A lot of poke back and forth, but at the end of the day, that's a 2-0 trade once again for the U.S. Army Esports. Leave it to the U.S. Army to be good at fighting, am I right? And now they're going to be the ones trying to trade, trying to push, but the death timers are still low. If they so choose, the Murky Chasers could attempt to contest this, just to get the last few... I don't even know what these things are called. The last few skeletons in order for the count. But it doesn't seem like they're even going to be interested in contesting. They're finally bringing up all 5, but it's too late now. Luke Murloc comes in just to get knocked up and killed by Al Pacino. They will take that free kill. It seems like they made that decision a little bit too late. I am definitely sensing a little bit of indecisiveness from the Murky Chasers as they do get the jump onto Vendetta. And yeah, they're just able to get that kill. Another free kill going over to the side of the US Army Esports. And I think that's going to be a very decisive lead coming in right now. Their Punisher still at 78% HP, and this is the second Punisher of the game. Remember, the later the game goes, the more damage they're able to get. They are able to get the black arrows onto their side as the healer Leolis, or sorry, not the healer. Leolis is the one to take the jump from the Punisher as they're able to get the top side wall and a decent amount of damage on the keep. I don't think they'll be able to get the keep, but they are pushing a bit forward. Punisher's starting to get low, and they decide, you know what? We're done. We're going to leave. And in the meanwhile, we do see Sanger has started shoving out the mid lane. And during that moment, Vendetta was able to get their siege camp. Well, looks like they're dead set on grabbing this mid fort as well. Black Arrow's up once again. White Buffalo comes in, gets the mind control, but is immediately stopped. But the dungeon, and with this combo, I don't even know what's going on anymore. So many abilities trying to force each other out. Al Pacino manages to throw away Vendetta. He's trying to get away. No HP, 100 HP. Is able to get healed just in time. White Buffalo does jump, but the Taz Dingo comes out. But he's completely alone in the middle of the enemy team. White Buffalo is not able to get any other play. And they get the 1-for-0 of finally a 1 fight for the side of the Murky Chasers. But, however, crucially, Sanger was able to get the siege camp that is now pushing over to the bot side. It's going to get cleared up by Vendetta, but he's also going to be able to get this camp over here. They're about to hit their level 16s. So that's going to be a pretty major power spike for them. But they do have to wait for their Zul'jin to be back up. So what they're going to do in the meanwhile, it looks like both sides are just going to trade away their bruisers. Leolisk is starting on his camp, as we see that the US Army Esports is finishing off their bruiser camp. And Vendetta is able to soak right now on the bot side, and they need to get that level 16 as soon as possible. There is no Punisher yet. Next one is going to be an Arcane Punisher in the mid lane. I believe that's the Arcane one. That's either Arcane or Mortar. We'll see how it goes. White Buffalo, once again, trying to zone them off. Both sides not really wanting to fight because they don't want to... Oh, I take that back as Leolis just kind of gets caught in the middle of their team. They do get a massive stun onto them. They do have the gravity wall pushing all of them in. And we have the dance from ETC, the unstoppable coming out from Al Pacino, but he's still in the middle of the team. But Sanger comes in from the top, able to stun him. Al Pacino's still alive, fighting it all. The Vendetta is able to kill him in the end, but he managed to buy his team so much time. They've won the rest of the fight. Luke Murloc slowed onto the oil spill and is also going to get finished off here. What a hectic fight. That fight was so insanely close. I genuinely feel that if the Murky Chasers had their level 16 for that fight, if they had that 1 extra talent, there was multiple players there that were at less than 100 HP left. That 1 extra talent could have definitely won them that fight. But the US Army Esports, once again, they were able to win the team fight. And they took the mid fort and will steal away the siege camp in the meanwhile. About a level and a half lead now for US Army Esports, and they are going to be getting even more with that. And they do have to be careful, as we do see the top wave shoving in. That keep does not have a lot of health. They start the shrine right now towards the mid side, and they're gonna start the race. So it is 11-0. They are on even talents right now. So if a fight does break out, neither side's gonna really have an advantage. White Buffalo gets caught, but they do throw the dungeon out. A light bomb onto one. But the mind control too good. They do have the bunker coming in as the gravity well is able to shove everyone out. Pro Basket gets killed, but in the Vendetta is getting hit. And Surefire is just free hitting onto all of them. 5-0, and that could very well be game. They are all running towards their top side. Seems a little bit undecided. Sanger's going to grab the Punisher anyway, as we do see Surefire, Frack, and Al Pacino coming over to the top side. Loved him in Godfather, by the way. If you're watching this, you did a great job in that movie. Absolutely phenomenal job. As they're slowly running in, and doesn't seem like they feel confident ending quite yet. Not with their topside wave. I don't think they need a rush by any means. They should be able to win this game quite cleanly, as it is the Mortar Punisher. Their level 20 talents coming in. Mortar Punisher coming in, taking over their mid keep. That should go down very quickly. So the Punisher jumps in. Vendetta, good timing on the invulnerability. He throws out his dungeon. Sanger getting hit. Oh, and we see the Mortar Punisher is dealing so much damage to the side of Murky eSports. Surefire gets another kill, but they are able to kill the Blaze on Sanger. And they decide to back away. The Punisher is still able to deal a lot of damage. Doesn't seem like he will be able to break through the shield, though some of his mortars did end up reaching. They got 9% damage onto their core, but that's going to be the end of it. As both sides reset, siege camps taken, pro basket ready to shove out the wave. Vendetta trying to get the respawn. Gonna still be a little while, but now they got the mid wave, they got the top wave. All that's left for them to clear out this game is to take the bottom lane. And once they get that, they should be able to end. As we do see White Buffalo trying to clear out his top side. All they can really do right now is try and soak up, kill as many of these creeps as they can, hit their level 20s. Because once they do have level 20, they will be able to fight at least on a more or less even ground. The map state, not going to be even, most likely for the rest of the game. Even if they are able to bring it back for themselves. Vendetta caught a little bit. They do get the jump. Unstoppable used. Al Pacino waiting. Pro Basket is able to land the root. 300 HP, 9 HP, and he's able to get out. Absolutely insane. If he got killed there, that could have signaled the end of it. While it is Leoric is able to respawn faster than most other heroes, it is still a very big deal to have lost someone this late into the game. 17 minutes about to hit. Level 21's hit. Though at that point, no extra talents are going to be awarded to the side of US Army Esports, but those little bit of stats can also add up and really make a huge difference at the end of the day. They are clearing out their mid lane for the side of Murky Chasers, trying as fast as possible to get their level 20s. They got the Siege Camp in the meanwhile, and the Bruiser Camp coming out from the side of US Army Esports as they ping towards the Bruiser Camp on the side of the Murky Chasers. And this might be the next fight, but they still don't have level 20. They are very, very close. If they're able to even delay this fight long enough to get that little bit of extra XP, these only give 1 XP each, so that's not going to be it. Al Pacino decides, nope, we're going to start the fight right before he hit level 20. We do have the dungeon coming out. We have the stun coming out. We have the dance coming through. Mind control onto their tank. Bunker coming out. Bunker's already destroyed. But during all that, the ETC was the one that was able to get demolished. Al Pacino trying to walk further in, and looks like they're going to try to end now. Now that they don't have the tank, they have multiple waves coming in, including a Siege Camp and a Bruiser Camp, and they're feeling a little bit more confident fighting. It is a very strong core. They have the wall coming in, but that's just going to block them. Leolisk is stuck, able to get the light bomb on it too. Vendetta in the meanwhile trying to kill Frack, but he gets picked off by Surefire. I've seen the bottom of your screen. Surefire onto Luke Murloc. Throws out the Taz Dingo, just goes in, and you know what? You can do that on Zul'jin as they do end the game. And that is it for our series today. So a final score 2-1 for the side of the US Army Esports. And with that, they weren't able to get their domination, but they were able to get the win that they needed. And so, as we see in the standings, they are quite a bit above the side of the Murky Chasers. But at the same time, they are also not in playoff contention at the current moment. They will need a few more wins. It is not impossible for them. They're only 2 points behind the number 4 place Rainbow Shrooms. So not being able to get that domination really hurts US Army Esports here. They will be able to try again. There's still a lot of games left this season. And in fact, their next game is against the Rainbow Shrooms. So that's going to be really exciting to watch. I am done with this cast for now. I'm going to take a short break and then I'll decide whether or not I want to pick up another cast. Because, well, like I said, this was my first one. I think I did decent for a first time. But yeah, I'll debate whether I want to pick up another cast to do. Since they are pretty short. I forgot how short HOTS games were. Or I'll do some solo queue HOTS. I'll get back to you in one moment. But either way, thank you for watching, and hope you stick around. See you in a bit.